Member National Advisory Council, SAMHSA, Center for National Mental Health Services, Washington, DC. Dr. M.S. Karimuddin, Vice President, Indo-Saudi Medical Forum. Ms. Sangeeta Reddy, Joint Managing Director of Apollo Hospitals, India. Shri Mohammad Noor Rahman Sheikh, Joint Secretary, Economic Diplomacy, Ministry of External Affairs, will be moderating this event, this session. और अब हमारे बीच में पधारने वाले हैं ऑनरेबल मिनिस्टर ऑफ हेल्थ एंड फैमिली वेलफेयर डॉक्टर मनसुख मांडविया जी। एक बार जोरदार तालियां माननीय मंत्री महोदय के लिए। आप सभी ने सुना होगा पैंडेमिक टाइम में जिस तरीके से हेल्थ सर्विसेज को आपने मैनेज किया, आप नमन के काबिल हैं। सारे भारतवासी आपको नमन करते हैं। माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के दिशा निर्देशन में आपने जिस तरीके से कोरोना में चीज़ों को मैनेज किया वो वाकई काबिल तारीफ़ है। हम आपको बहुत बहुत आभार प्रकट करते हैं, धन्यवाद प्रकट करते हैं। माननीय डॉक्टर मनसुख मांडविया जी, ऑनरेबल मिनिस्टर ऑफ हेल्थ एंड फैमिली वेलफेयर, विल बी चेयरिंग दिस सेशन एंड वी वर एक्सपेक्टिंग ऑनरेबल मिनिस्टर ऑफ स्टेट फॉर एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स डॉक्टर राजकुमार रंजन सिंह जी, ही विल बी co-chairing the session. माननीय डॉक्टर मनसुख मांडविया जी, माननीय डॉक्टर राजकुमार रंजन सिंह जी, आपकी उपस्थिति से इस कार्यक्रम में जोश भर गया है। और लेट मी इंट्रोड्यूस द थीम टू यू। द थीम फॉर दिस सेशन विल बी रोल ऑफ इंडियन डायस्पोरा इन प्रमोटिंग इंडियन हेल्थ केयर इकोसिस्टम इन अमृत काल विजन एट 2047. So as I told you, the eminent speakers from different parts of the world, they are with us, and the session will be moderated by Shri Mohammad Noor Rahman Sheikh, Joint Secretary, Economic Diplomacy, Minister of External Affairs. So let's begin the session, and I hand over the floor to the moderator to carry forward the session. Thank you so much.
Namaskar. Honorable Union Minister of Health and Family Welfare, Chemicals and Fertilizer, Dr. Mansoor Mandaviya ji, the chair of this session. Honorable Union Minister of State for External Affairs and Education, Dr. Rajkumar Ranjan Singh ji, the co-chair of this session. Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Panama, Her Excellency Madam Janayanath Tewani Menkomo, and other 5 distinguished panelists with us here, delegates, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you all at this plenary session on the theme, Role of Indian Diaspora in Promoting Indian Healthcare Ecosystem in Amrit Kaal Vision 2047. Healthcare, which is conventionally referred to as just physical well-being, is now being largely recognized to also include mental and social well-being of people around the world. As the COVID pandemic hit us in 2020, it disrupted the global order, distressed economies, and made health systems vulnerable. It taught us all a lesson of solidarity and taking the world as a family. An efficient healthcare ecosystem can contribute significantly in a country's economy, development, and industrialization. India's healthcare sector is extremely diversified and is full of opportunities in every segment, including medical providers, medical value travel, medical technology, devices, etc. Today's panel discussion of very eminent panelists with us, and of course with the expertise of the Union Health Minister and the Union Minister of State for External Affairs, we will explore areas of further enhancing the role of Indian diaspora in the healthcare ecosystem in Amrit Kaal. at Vision 2047, which is like 100 years of India's independence. To make this engagement more productive and meaningful, we have today amongst us this very experienced panelists with us, who with various backgrounds, yet with a common goal to improve the healthcare ecosystem across the globe. Now I would like to request Honorable Union Minister of State for External Affairs and Education, Dr. Rajkumar Ranjan Singh Ji, for his opening remarks for this plenary. Sir.
Namaskar. Excellency, Foreign Minister, Madam Mankomo Ji, my senior ministerial colleague, Dr. Mansukh Mandaviya Ji, distinguished panelists, delegates, ladies and gentlemen. It is a pleasure to be here today to share my thoughts on India's healthcare ecosystem and discuss ways for value addition by our diaspora. Presence of this highly distinguished panel is very reassuring. I look forward to a very productive and fruitful engagement. We look forward to practical insight. A robust healthcare ecosystem is a national policy. It is both a challenge and an opportunity. I say this as this healthcare ecosystem has to serve over 1/5 of humanity. This ecosystem has to be quality, and it has to be economy, accessible and equitable. We today extend public health insurance coverage of ₹500,000 rupees to approximately 11 million lower income families for secondary and tertiary health care. We today deliver affordable quality medicine through our approximately 9,000 exclusive Jan Ashudhi medical stores. We have launched a digital mission to connect various hospitals and enable a host of services like digital consultation, digitizations of record, to enable easy access to doctors and for ready reference for health history. These are very unique and appreciable initiative taken by our colleague in the Health Minister under the guidance of Honorable Prime Minister. We need to understand the scale, the pace at which this sector is changing. To fully appreciate India's healthcare ecosystem today, friend, over the last 3 years, COVID threw up challenges in practically all aspects of modern human life. We saw disruption in varying degrees in almost all possible sectors of any modern economy, production and supply chain, education, healthcare, and other services. Even securing basic medical supplies, be it medicine and protective equipment or others, had become a challenge, a major challenge. Yet, first time in our memorable history, we developed an indigenous vaccine relatively fast. We took care of our own vaccination needs. We also shared through our vaccine Maitri. This is our core belief of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. We supply 235 million doses of COVID vaccine to 98 countries and 2 UN entities. In the Indian Ocean region itself, we share with 15 countries security, and growth for all in the regions remains a key guiding principle for us. We are happy to share, we are happy to grow together we will continue working towards common security of mankind. Use of technology in healthcare is another exciting area. Here, I need to mention e-Sanjeevani. This platform benefited 390 millions during the pandemic alone. It provides video consultations. e-Sanjeevani is probably the biggest platform in the world to remotely deliver medical services. We plan to extend similar telemedicine services to 54 African nations through e-Arogya Bharatiya programs. Pilot of this program shows encouraging result. Friends, we are known for our manufacturing capacity in this sector. Our pharmaceutical industry serves almost every corner of the world. It is estimated that we supply 50% of Africans' requirement for generic, closely 40% of generic demand in the USA, and 25% of all medicine in the UK. We supply almost 70% of World Health Organization's vaccines listed in their essential immunization schedules. This industry is currently valued at $50 billion. It is projected to grow to $65 billion by next year and reach $120 billion by 2030. Our domestic medical devices market size is expected to reach $50 billion by 2030. The compound annual growth rate of this sector is expected to be 15%, almost double of the world's CAGR opportunities about here. In medical value tourism, we are today a premier and attractive destinations for travelers from across the globe. People visit not only for clinical treatment, but also for research and rejuvenation through yoga and traditional therapies. This is testimony to the quality of services and value at which these services are provided. Opportunities for growth in all these three verticals in the healthcare sector are immense. This is a very promising sector to benefit from and contribute to India's growth story. Opportunities only multiply manifolds if we add those afforded by over 3,000 health tech startups. Friends, let me end here. Indian diaspora the world over is largely known and acknowledged for their excellence in IT sector. They have earned it. Likewise, Indian diaspora working hard for the well-being of the societies in their adopted countries should also be recognized and revered. Their services, not only during the pandemic, but at all times, are not only invaluable, but are noble, human, and commendable. They should be acknowledged and appreciated. Thank you. I look forward to an engaging session ahead. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for those nice opening remarks. It's now my honor to invite the Honorable Union Minister of Health and Family Welfare, Chemicals and Fertilizers, Dr. Mansukh Mandaviya ji, to deliver his keynote address for this plenary. Sir.
Namaste. Namaste. Thank you. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great pleasure to address the 17th Pravasi Bharatiya Divas convention. I would like to extend a warm welcome to His Excellency Ms. Janena Mekoma, Foreign Minister of Panama, and the Indian diaspora gracing the occasion. I would also like to thank Dr. Rajkumar Ranjan Singh Ji, Minister of State for External Affairs and Education, for sharing his valuable thoughts. At the outset, let me wish you all very happy and prosperous New Year. India has simultaneously entered into Amrit Kaal, the crucial 25 years before we celebrate 100 years of our independence, 2047. Over the last 3 years, we have seen the economic and social devastation caused by the COVID pandemic, where all countries in the world have been affected by loss of life. Since the outbreak of COVID-19 in India, we follow a wall of government and wall of society approach to deal with the pandemic. Under the overall guidance of Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, we have taken several measures for controlling the spread of the virus, addressing availability of healthcare while restoring normalcy in access to livelihood. India achieved an unimaginable pace of COVID vaccination, and we have already administered more than 2.2 billion doses of COVID vaccinations across the country. To create resilient healthcare ecosystem, India has taken a historic approach and holistic approach to build the robust health infrastructure based on the 4 main pillars of Ayushman Bharat, which means Long Live India. Embracing the philosophy Antyodaya, leaving no one behind, 150,000 Ayushman Bharat Health and Wellness Center are transforming the delivery of comprehensive primary healthcare service in India. To ensure quality healthcare service delivery to every rural household, tribal area, and remotest corner of the country. National teleconsultation platform eSanjeevani was launched, wherein more than 85 million teleconsultations have been done so far. India launched its government-funded health insurance scheme, Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana. As of day, approx 500 billion rupees has been spent on life-saving procedure and 42.5 million hospitals administered have been authorized. Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission aims to bridge the gap amongst different stakeholders of the healthcare ecosystem through digital pathway. Citizens can create their Aadhaar numbers to which their digital health record can be linked. This will enable creation of electronic health records for individuals across various healthcare providers and improve clinical decision-making system. Pradhan Mantri Ayushman Bharat Health Infrastructure Mission the largest pan-India scheme for strengthening healthcare infrastructure. PM Abhim aims to build disease surveillance system, laboratory network at district, regional and national levels, strengthening health units at the point of entry, building of infectious disease blocks across all districts, and augmenting research capacity with emphasis on One Health approach. Government has consistently worked to ensure adequate infrastructure for medical college. MBBS seats have been increased by 87% from 51,348 in 2014 to 96,077 in 2022. Similarly, postgraduate seats have also been doubled with 31,000 seats in 2014 to 63,000 seats in 2022. Over the past few years, our medical value travel has gained immense popularity, and we are now recognized as one of fastest growing medical tourism destinations in Asia and the world. This has only been possible as India is the destination which provides integrative healthcare options with combination of modern medicine and traditional medicine like Ayurveda, yoga, and naturopathy, etc. With the presence of 40 JCI and 1,400 plus hospitals accredited by the NABH, India offers a wide variety of options to foreigners who want access to affordable and quality healthcare with timely appointments. Equipped with highly trained and experienced healthcare workers, well versed in English, India has 1.3 million plus allopathic, 0.8 million plus doctors trained in traditional medicine also, and over 3.4 million nurses. Complex surgical procedures are being performed in world-class hospital by acclaimed super specialty at much lower cost. Ladies and gentlemen, the coming years will belong to those who have invested in healthcare. Arogya param bhagyam. Health is the greatest fortune. Investing in healthcare in investing in future. India has assumed presidency of G20 with them, one earth, one family, and one future. Our effort is to build consensus of convergence of efforts going at global level to address any public health threats, ensure medical countermeasures availability to every country by leveraging and augmenting existing capacities of the countries and promoting digital health agenda at global level. All these areas would require support from government and will be driven by private sector supports. Indian diaspora community remain an invaluable source to the country, generating high-value products while promoting India's healthcare services worldwide. It is time when our overseas Indians proactively start engaging in the promotion of India's best practice in healthcare, telemedicine, medical supplies, teleconsultation, vaccines, etc. The COVID-19 pandemic is a reminder that our diaspora remains connected to the country and continues to play a huge role in the development of our country. You are our brand ambassadors to the world, and I exhort you to continue to work together with government under the spirit of leaving no one behind. I am very much confident that all of you will also play a pivotal role in building New India. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your very valuable keynote address. Let me now introduce the first panelist of today's session, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Panama, Her Excellency, Ms. Janena Tewani Mancumo. Before I give the floor to her, let me just say something about her as well. She has been Foreign Minister of Republic of Panama since October last year. Before that, she has been a Minister of Government and dealt with several issues of the prison reform system and spread of COVID-19 in the Panamanian prisons. Prior to her working in the government, she served as an international policy analyst on varied subjects, including terrorism financing, geopolitics, water diplomacy, etc., at Strategic Foresight Group in India. She is of Indian origin, and we are very happy to have you, ma'am, with us for this panel discussion. We would, in fact, Excellency, Latin American countries, a leading question for you. Excellency, Latin American countries have a considerable number of Indian diaspora, including on prominent government positions like yourself. What role do you think such diaspora should play in promoting and branding Indian healthcare system abroad, and particularly keeping in mind the far distance between us and your country? Madam.
Excellencies, Honorable Ministers, members of the Government of India, allow me to first extend on behalf of return from South Africa to his homeland, Bharat. This moment marks also an important date for the Indian diaspora in Panama and Indo-Panama relations, as with my appointment, I became the first person of Indian origin to be part of a cabinet in Panama. Thank you. Therefore, as a Minister of Foreign Affairs of Panama of Indian origin, I made a commitment to make India my first visit outside the Americas. And on a personal, very personal note, it is also a very emotional moment for me to be the one to mark this special occasion, because it is impossible for me to talk about the Indian diaspora's role in the future without looking back in so much gratitude to our ancestors. My grandparents, as well as my husband's grandparents, were all from Karachi, Sindh. it is impossible to talk about the future of the diaspora without looking back at the journey of sacrifice they made after losing everything during partition, so they could raise us all, and we could enjoy the privilege of education and success. But moreover, gratitude for raising us in values of duty and resilience, so we can all endure difficult times stoically with integrity and discipline. And I know I can speak for many of us in this room when I say that our parents and grandparents prioritized raising us with Indian values of spirituality and unity, that today we can share with the world, and that just as I'm grateful for that, many of us, I'm sure here, are grateful for this connection that allow us to feel rooted in the ground that we are currently standing on today, returning to the source, Bharat. And today, as India prepares for the next 25 years of Amrit Kaal until 2047 to celebrate its 100 years of independence, the world looks to this republic as a beacon of hope, growth, and development. As the motto to follow is more than appropriate at these times of anguish: one earth, one family, and one future, which this signifies unity, which is a key and much needed word to put into practice, especially within the G20 context. It is a word that has lost its meaning during these unprecedented and polarizing times. And it is a concept that we all need to rescue to the sake of continued international cooperation, peace, and security, and the upholding of human rights globally. Now let's talk a bit about Panama and its diaspora. Panama is a small country in Central America with just over 4 million people, but however small it might be, it is a country that shares a particular bond with India. The construction of the Panama Canal and railway would not have been possible without the hands of the first migration that came to Panama from India. In fact, India's first resident mission in Central America was established in Panama, and we are home to the largest Indian diaspora in Central America. A community that plays a vital and integral role in driving economic growth in the country, along with valuable contributions in other aspects of society, including serving in many high-level posts in government. Also, we are both vibrant democracies, India being the largest in the world, and we also both face similar challenges as well as opportunities in our proportions. But today this event poses the opportunity for us to regroup, reflect as diaspora in Latin America, and rejoice in the diversity that we are fortunate to foster. As we come from all continents and all backgrounds, I'm from Latin America. We have some colleagues from Guyana, Suriname. This allows us to see India from the outside and to recognize the unique role it has to play in the world during these trying times. As a world power ready to stand its grounds on principles of peace, prosperity, and inclusive economic growth. I myself have been witness to how our Panamanian society has received Indian gastronomy, culture, spirituality, and health practices with open arms. Now, this opportunity to enhance health systems in a global manner and to enter Amrit Kaal with the purpose of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam that tell us that the world is one family, a family that has the obligation to share with one another everything that brings health and wellness to a suffering population. It is our collective responsibility as members of this diaspora and world citizens to worry about each other and to open ourselves to collaborate on all levels. Now, I would like to talk a bit about our national context. For instance, we have established in Panama a roundtable where skilled and professional physicians, economists, business sector, and other disciplines work together, assisting our Vice President to make the right choices in order to lower medicine costs for our citizenry. But we also consider Panamanians. It is our duty to share these benefits across the region. This is why Panama is aiming to become the region's pharmaceutical and bioscientific hub. It is a strategy that we have worked closely on with different partners, and another clear example of the countless synergies we share with India. We want to invite Indian pharmaceutical companies to manufacture medicines in Panama and help lower costs in the region and use Panama's privileged geographic position. This enforces the Vedic principle of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Brothers and sisters, there is knowledge everywhere. We just need to harness it effectively and follow up on commitments we make in forums that are as important as this forum is. I believe that harnessing the diaspora experience in each of our individual contexts might bring key opportunities to further international cooperation and strategic plans that help us all win and develop in exchanging good practices and technical knowledge. In this sense, I'm sure that we share common values, we share common partners, we share principles, and will further strengthen our fraternal bond in the coming years as we aim to assist in every way possible the development of a substantial part of Earth's population that resides in this incredible country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Foreign Minister of Panama, for those valuable thoughts and the way how Indian diaspora has been connected with your country since many years, and of course most significantly with the construction of the Panama Canal, and of course your current government's desire to promote pharmaceutical manufacturing in Panama. And I'm sure diaspora will pick that up for the offer of partnership in Panama's healthcare journey as well. I would now like to introduce the next panelist, Dr. Sampath Sivangi, of USA. Dr. Sampath is an Indian-born American physician. Dr. Saab, just see if the mic is working from there. You can just see if then I can come on. Does it work? Is working? Okay. Then I think we can do from there. I think we can do from there then. Yeah, it's better. So, Dr. Sivangi is the president of Indian American Forum for Political Education. He has been serving the board for the Department of Mental Health in Mississippi for several years. He is the past president-elect of the American Association of Physicians of Indian origin, and he has received several awards, including Pravasi Bharatiya Samman Award in 2017. He has advocated for green card reforms in the US for physicians, engineers, teachers, nurses, and medical professionals. He was born in the town of Athani in Karnataka. He did his MBBS from Kasturba Medical College in Manipal and later attended Karnataka Medical College in Hubli for his MD and DCO postgraduate degrees in medicine. Dr. Sampath ji, the question that I would raise with you is, the West has traveled a long way in terms of mental health care ecosystem. It has taken mental health from the shadow of stigma and discrimination and brought it to the center of the public health policy arena. Can you share some best practices going by your many years in this field? And of course, I would like to request you and other panelists to restrict your interventions to 5 minutes in the interest of time, because we're anyways delayed. Thank you, Doctor. Welcome.
Good afternoon. It's a great honor to present a broader outlook of mental health in West, specifically in the United States of America, and what we should look in our own homeland country, India. Even though I'm a US citizen, I have a lot of stake in India. You can never forget your motherland. So, keeping in mind I have only 5 minutes, there is no way to solve problems of mental health in India in 5 minutes. But I'll do my best to give an outlook what we are looking in US and India. How is it different, the mental health system in America and mental health system in India? Where do we stand in world mental health standards? We all acknowledge India is a global leader in manufacturing affordable, innovative quality pharma and medical devices across the world, reaching goal of, as our speaker said, Vasudev Kutumbakam. Indian pharma, they flock every shelf in America at fraction of cost. Americans charge for the same medication. So we are much ahead of that. So I had to give a brief background before we go to mental health. I'm going to skip a few things because of the paucity of time. Goals and aims of Indian diaspora. What are our roles? Just because we live some other country doesn't mean we can't offer some assistance, help to India. So in that regard, US, we have formed an organization called American Physicians of Indian origin. We are more than 1 lakh medical doctors in America. We treat every 7th American by Indian doctor in America. So we have a big role we play in the healthcare system of America. But why not we play similar role in India? So with that in mind, what we did, API, it's called AAPI. Actually, our present president is also here. He may want to raise some questions. So during COVID, API raised $5 million, almost close to 50 crores of rupees, to help COVID calamity in India. In spite of, we had some things back in the US. Of course, we didn't forget the US. We did contribute some in the US, but more to India. So we provided 23 oxygen concentrators. I'm just giving you an outlook how diaspora can help, in the healthcare system of India. So we provided 100 ventilators, 200 high-flow oxygen. 4 oxygen plants were installed in various hospitals in India. And 5 chemiluminescence immunoanalyzers, each costing 50 lakhs of rupees. So I'm just mentioning the role of diaspora, how we can help India. 50 crores is not a big deal when India is spending maybe, $50 billion for COVID relief. So coming back to mental health, nearly 1 in 5 Americans has some type of mental illness. Spending on mental health in treatment and sessions reached $225 billion in 2019. Can India afford such expenses? But our population is 1.4 billion. American population is only 300 million population. Access to care can be prohibitively expensive. Some key figures of West. In 2019, 78% of adults were experiencing mental illness in America. That is, over 50 million Americans have mental illness. Over 1 in 10 youth in the US are experiencing depression that severely impairs their ability to function in school, work, and home. And 2.7 million suffer severe major depression. See how big is the mental illness problem across the world? Because we may not be aware. India is not aware what is going on all over the world, including India. 6.3% of youth in the US reported substance abuse. That means drug abuse, alcohol, and all kinds of things. So I'm not going to go through every part of it because so what organizations US has, India does not have, but we must strive to. I'm not saying America is the best, but I think in our mind, in our vision, America is still the best medical care provider in the world. So why not we see what they do? They have National Institute of Mental Health. It is federally funded. You can get immediate assistance. They have a unique system called 911. So you dial from your cell phone, and I'm told India has about 500 million cell phones. And so they can just call 911. Somebody will answer your problems. And if you need, they provide you ambulance, and they take you to a mental health crisis center or hospital if needed. Such a thing, I suggest for Honorable Minister to consider this. It's great, it doesn't cost much. People have cell phones, they can call and get help for mental health. See, recently, I was involved in this. We started a 988 number, similar to 911. This is for suicide and crisis lifeline. So if somebody has thoughts of suicide, they can call this number. And there are qualified psychiatrists, psychologists, nurse practitioners, and mental health care workers. They immediately talk to them and cool them down. This has reduced 30% of admission into the medical hospitals. So I think 988 is biggest. I strongly advise our Honorable Minister to consider such a thing, which doesn't cost much, but gives enormous results. These are my help. And also I was telling that since I am one of the top Indian American appointees in the National Mental Health Center, I can bring all these things to India at no cost. And I'm willing to work voluntarily, no fees, nothing. I want to help motherland. So please consider this and make me part of mental system in India. I will change the whole system at no cost to you. Please think about it. And yeah, briefly, I'll just say, we also have called Veterans Crisis Center. This is for the Army people, retired Army, Navy, and Air Force. We have a special number for them. It's called 800-985-5990 in the US. So you can have a similar number for Army. We have maybe at least 5 million retired Army people in India. They can use those numbers. The second most important organization we have called SAMHSA, Substance Abuse and Mental Health Service Administration, which deals with substance abuse. There's like people using fentanyl, morphine, pethidine, and all drug addiction. That has gone 30% higher post-COVID. So I think it may be the same thing in India. I think we need to tackle that.
Sampath, if you could conclude.
So, last few minutes, I just want to spend what is incidence in India. In 2017, across India, revealed that as many 200 million required care for mental health in India. 200 million. We are 1.4 billion. That means every 8th Indian has some mental illness. We need to know that. And out of that, 45 million people with a depressive disorder and 44 million with anxiety disorders. So, and this increased more after post-COVID. The last few slides, existing services in India, 70 million mentally ill in the country of 1.3 billion, which I mentioned. The other thing, most important part, it shocked me when I was doing this study. There are only 42 mental hospitals in India. Minister, please correct me if I'm wrong. That's what I get it. There are only 42 hospitals. In my state of Mississippi, in America, there are 40 hospitals in one state. And we cater 20,000 beds in India. I think that is very unfortunate. We need to correct that. The other thing, total psychiatrists in India, 4,000. There is, for 100,000 population, there are less than 20 psychiatrists. And so on, it has nurses, nurse practitioners and all that. I don't want to go through all that. And last but not least, needs for India. What it needs, India requires three mental health experts for every 10,000 people. Need additional 30,000 psychiatrists, 30,000. 38,000 psychiatric social workers, 37,000 psychiatric nurses. It's estimated that it will take 40 years to satisfy these requirements in India. Can you believe? Can we wait for 42 years to get something out of mental health issues solved by public or private entity? Impossible. 72 years for mental health nurses, 76 years for psychological social workers. So these are the facts. I think I want to bring it to our Honorable Minister. I think he may not be aware of this, but I made an intensive study and found out all this. It's not to have any glory, to help our country, our motherland. And I also have a solution. This is the last one I'm going to say. What we should do, integration of mental health with the primary health care. So you don't need to have special mental health clinic and primary care. So you can include primary health care and mental health care together. So that will reduce your expenses and the personnel. Provision of tertiary care. Eradicating stigma. Stigma is the biggest thing in anywhere in the world, but that needs to come out. Initiate agencies on the model of SAMHSA, which I mentioned it. start a nationwide teleservice, the 988 or 911, incentive programs of psychologists, psychiatrists, and social workers in the field of mental health. Probably you may have to pay more to these workers to come and go to medical school or get trained. So unless we give them more avenues, they won't go into those schools.
Sir,
More importantly,
Dr. Sampath,
yeah.
if you could please conclude.
I'm done. Yeah. More importantly, awareness of mental health in general public is very important. Thank you very much. I hope we can do better for our country, and I'm willing to work for India. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Sampath, for your sharing your thoughts. I think we'll also reflect on that. Now I'd like to introduce our next panelist, Dr. Kuljit Singh. Dr. Kuljit Singh is a consultant ENT surgeon and is the president of Association of Private Hospitals of Malaysia and the medical director of Prince Court Medical Center. He is an elected member of the Malaysian Medical Center. He was General Secretary of Malaysian Medical Association and Chairman of Wilayah Malaysian Medical Association. Dr. Kuljit pursued MBBS in Kasturba Medical College, Manipal, and Masters in Otorhinolaryngology, I hope I pronounced it correct, doctor, and head neck from University of Malaya. Dr. Kuljit, India is known as pharmacy of the world, and rightly so. We are also one of the largest exporters for generic medicines and vaccines. We have all seen during the COVID pandemic. In your views, how do you think that we can expand the Indian medical and pharma exports abroad? Yeah.
Thank you very much. First and foremost, I would like to thank the organizers in inviting me to attend this unique, to me it's pretty unique meeting that I have been all over the world, but I have not seen a meeting of this nature. I would like to congratulate the organizers and also the government of Madhya Pradesh in organizing this. Malaysia is a small country. We are only about 32 million. And I'm sure some of the cities in India is about 32 million of population. We are a very small and unique country, multinational, multi-ethnic, multi-language. We got Malay, we got Chinese, and 8 to 9% of the Malaysian population are from India origin. There's about 3 million plus who are Indian origin by the Malaysian citizens. We get about 50,000 Indian nationals coming to Malaysia for treatment. 10,000 of them a year are unique medical tourists. And with that, we have got a huge potential to increase healthcare technology from India in terms of digitalization of healthcare, pharmaceutical, medical equipment, because India can make very cost-effective medical technology, especially digitalization, pharmaceutical and medical equipment, because we rely a lot from the Western world, which is actually very expensive for a Southeast Asian country to use. So we encourage and we hope in terms of even using software in healthcare. For example, for those who are involved in artificial intelligence in healthcare, India has got a huge potential in that, and those softwares are easily usable in countries like Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, Indonesia, to speak for the rest of the countries in my region. So the cost effectiveness will be helpful. We hope some of the relationship can be enhanced, G to G relationship. We got ministers in our panel here who can actually talk to our government to make this a little bit easy and seamless for us to work together. And Malaysia is a good place to invest comparing to other parts of Southeast Asia. We speak English widely. Our quality of life in Malaysia is very good. Great place to have recreation and is designed very well for investors to come to Malaysia. Very unique country. We are safe from all catastrophe by the grace of God. We don't have catastrophes in our country. And we are now beginning to be politically stable with our new Prime Minister, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim, who is now has made the country much stable than what we went through in the last couple of years. So I encourage investors, government to come. And to answer your question, sir, there is a huge potential. It is not too difficult to deal with Malaysia. And those who have visited Malaysia will agree with me. It's very simple, that we are able to cut deals and talk across the table very easily. So all of you are welcome to Malaysia to enhance our relationship. I will stop here. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kuljit, for making this process of medical and pharma exports to Malaysia and that region very easy, look very easy. So I think that's a good takeaway from your intervention. Let me now introduce the next panelist, Dr. Muhyiddin Said Karimuddin. Dr. Karimuddin is a Saudi-based Indian pediatrician, and he has been involved in several academic, social welfare and humanitarian causes. He has been deeply engaged with the Indian local community. In fact, I know it because I was in Saudi Arabia for 8 years and he was a very prominent member of the Indian community there in Saudi Arabia. He was born in Madras, Chennai, and pursued his MBBS from Government Stanley Medical College. I think you can sit and talk, it's no issues. In 1973, followed by his postgraduate medicine from University College of Ireland. Since 1980, he has been in Saudi Arabia, and there are famous Indian embassy schools in Saudi Arabia, and he was chairman of the Indian school in Jeddah. He was awarded Pravasi Bharatiya Samman Award in 2011 for his outstanding achievement in the field of community service. Dr. Karimuddin, in your views, this is a leading question for you, how India can expand its initiative of Heal by India, maybe say by tying up with various other countries in setting up healthcare facilities involving our diaspora, and also like to bring in, say, we have a lot of Indian healthcare professionals who are trained in various countries around the world, particularly say in CIS or Nepal or Bangladesh, Philippines, for example. How could this, how could the diaspora engage such, foreign country trained Indian professionals also, please? Yeah.
Honorable Minister of Health and Family Welfare, Chairman of this session, Co-Chairman, Honorable Minister of External Affairs, respected moderator, my dear co-panelist, ladies and gentlemen, a warm greeting in a cold indoor from Saudi Arabia. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi barakatuh. Namaste and vanakkam from my city of birth, Chennai. I just want to give a small profile about myself, a very small one. As the moderator said, I moved to Saudi Arabia in 1980. When I went and met my father-in-law, he said, no, you cannot go. Your MBBS was done with the taxpayer money of Indian people, and you have to serve Indian people only. Yeah, those days there was no donation and all those things, and it was entirely the money spent by the government. Then I said that I'm going to Gulf, in Arabian countries. Then he thought about it and he said, okay, they are on par with us. They are not those days they were not, the oil boom was not there, and that just started. So I was allowed to go there, and I am living there for the past 42 years. But I'm still very proud to hold this passport in my hand. I'm an Indian still, and I'm holding Indian passport. There was an opportunity of late to apply for the Saudi citizenship, but I didn't go for because I love this book, because my father-in-law spent so many years in jail as a freedom fighter, Tamarapatra winner. He accepted the Tamarapatra, but he refused to take pension, saying that I don't want labor charge for my freedom struggle. That's the small background about me. And when I landed in Saudi Arabia, Indian population, Indian expatriate population was very less. It grew up, and I'm very proud to say we are talking about 33 million diaspora of Pravasi Bharatiya throughout the world, and we are the second largest in the world of Indian expatriates living in the world. First is UAE, and the second is Saudi Arabia. 2 million Indians are there with the Indian passport. So I thought of, then when I went there, my son was young, and we thought searching for the school, then the school was not there. So we started a school of 27 children, and with all our efforts, now we have a strength of 12,000 children. I take pride in that also, because the largest Indian school which follows the CBSE syllabus is there in Saudi Arabia, in Dammam, with 16,000 children. So now totally we have about 27,000 Indian children studying CBSE syllabus there. Why I'm talking about education when I'm coming to the healthcare? It's because of that. I was instrumental in organizing the school health program during my early stages there, and that put me into the managing committee of the school. I became the chairman, I became the higher board member, and all those things. That's apart from that. Now coming to the topic of today, Heal by India is indeed a fantastic initiative. In line with this, we formed a forum called Indo-Saudi Forum. Here we engaged in Saudi doctors and Indian doctors to work together to promote health activities between our two countries. And there are a lot of objectives and aims, but few of them are about establishing hospitals by the Indian excellent hospitals in Saudi Arabia, and also in the two-way traffic. We wanted big hospitals there in Saudi Arabia to come to India to establish their institution also. Apart from this, we wanted to engage the Saudi doctors with the Indian doctors in the research field, in the universities, in all these institutions. This is the constitution we made, and we are working on that very closely and very obviously. I want to briefly say why I was so attracted with this was way back in 1993, the chairman of Apollo Hospital visited Jeddah, and I organized a meet with some of the doctors there to promote this Apollo Hospital. And of course, after that he came, and it's in history. It's a history that Dr. Pratap Reddy set up this Apollo Hospital with a hometown in Chennai. After a grand success of setting up this largest group of private hospitals, he made a small attempt, but he did not pursue that further to come to Saudi Arabia. Now I am requesting, she is there, Pratap Reddy's daughter, she is there, so I am requesting her. Is a time for the corporate hospitals like Apollo to expand in the KSA when healthcare landscape is undergoing positive and tremendous changes, all in alignment with the Saudi Vision 2030. The Saudi Vision 2030 is a very interesting thing. It's by the Crown Prince, who is a practical ruler now. The king is not well, and he is ruling the country, and he is gone abroad. And, what we are attempting in another 25 years, we are going to celebrate our century of independence. By that time, I assure you, Saudi Arabia will be another America, not less than that. It is opening up like anything, every field. And just so I'm coming up about this only about the hospital projects, which we can set up all these things. Now we have Indian living there with the Indian passport, of course. There are 4 big groups, namely Abir Medical Group, Aster, VPS Healthcare, and Shifa Zaria. These groups, they have set up a very big chain of hospitals, and not only in Saudi Arabia and the whole of Gulf. And these people have also set up their projects back home in India, mostly in Kerala. There is a very big hospital in Riyadh, in the capital city of Saudi Arabia, which is called Dr. Sulaiman Habib Hospital. They have signed a memorandum of understanding to set up a big hospital in Hyderabad. So the two-way traffic has started now, and it will grow. Apart from that, we are concentrating in the Indo-Saudi Medical Forum to promote the alternate medicine of India, like yoga. Yoga has taken a very big step. There is a lady, not a man, who established Saudi Yoga Foundation. Just imagine a country which doesn't allow so much movement of the woman. A woman took up the initiative, and she developed. She came to India, got trained in yoga, and set up the Yoga Foundation there, for which the government of India awarded her Padma Shri. So that was a great honor for a Saudi lady to get Padma Shri award from the Prime Minister, from the President of India. Now we have also done other alternate medicines promotion. One of about Ayurveda and all those promotion. Now in the audience, I could see the Vice President of the Indo-Saudi Medical Forum of Riyadh chapter, Dr. Anwar Khurshid. He is instrumental in regularly organizing seminars on Ayurvedic and homeopathy and all other, Unani also, he has done that. And now this can take a good lead in Saudi Arabia, because I know the Saudis, they believe in their own traditional medicine. It's called Arab medicine, Arab medicines and Arab health, which was practiced by the Prophet of Islam. And then they are very much interested in that. And the way they took the yoga into their stride and they encouraged the lady to set up a foundation, we can see regular classes in yoga classes in Jeddah. And I'm very sure they will welcome these alternate medicines from India. So this is one of the fields which I'm really going to concentrate on, all these things. So there is a few proposal has come to Embassy of India, which is called the Taif Development Project, where 44% of the project size is allocated to pharmaceutical, hospitals, medical resorts. Here I invite the big Indian pharmaceutical hospitals and Indian alternate medicines like Ayurvedic, homeopathy, Unani to come forward to set up their facilities. There is one company called Saudi Amarex, which is dealing with joint venture between Saudi companies and reputed Indian companies in the field of pharmaceutical. This company is giving 75% loan to any Indian company, not only Indian company, any Indian diaspora, NRIs from any country who want to set up pharmaceutical companies. It's a huge country. Saudi Arabia is a huge country, and the manpower you can bring your own manpower. The Vision 2030, they are developing an economic city where 10 years, there is no Saudization rule. That means you need not employ Saudis. You can bring your own staff, and 75% loan this company will offer you. And this pharmaceutical market in Saudi Arabia is up to the tune of US $10 billion. So we can take advantage of that. And this is basically they are looking into biological drugs and substances. So this is my short speech, Chair, but there is one request can I make, if the time permits, to the Honorable Health Minister. With all these positive things, what is happening in Saudi Arabia, we are facing one big issue for the past 40 years. We have been trying to do this. Our MD degrees, MS degrees, DM, BNB, they are not recognized on par with the Egyptian degrees and the Pakistani degrees, and they are not considered for consultant posts. So please, I request you, I written a paper on that. I will submit to you. Please look into that, sir. And another 4 days, the Minister of External Affairs, State Minister is visiting Riyadh. I'm going to meet him also. I will present the same paper if we can take it up. Because I honestly tell you, when I went in 1980, the Pakistan, everywhere in Saudi Arabia, it was Pakistan, Pakistan, Pakistan. Now it is all India. They come, they ask, even they ask, is there a doctor of Hindi? They say not Indian, Hindi. Is there a doctor of Hindi in your clinic? They come to you. 40 years I'm practicing. They don't go to any other pediatrician. They come to me. I had one lady the other day with a young baby, 2 months baby. I'm examining, and she said, "Do you recognize me, sir?" I said, "No, I cannot recognize you. I was there on your examination table at this age." So it's a proud moment for Indian there in Saudi Arabia. Please take advantage of this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Karimuddin. It was very, I think, enriching for everyone here to know your Saudi experience and the efforts that are going on to enhance it further. Next, I would like to introduce our next panelist, Dr. Sangeeta Reddy. She is a very popular person. I'm sure most of us know her. She is Joint Managing Director of Apollo Hospitals. And she is co-chair G20 Empower India and also past president of FICCI. FICCI is the Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry. As one of the founding team members of Apollo Hospitals, she has promoted multiple significant initiatives and is passionately committed to transforming healthcare system through technological advancement and is accelerating positive transformation in enabling universal access of healthcare. A graduate in science from the Women's Christian College in Chennai, Dr. Sangeeta Reddy has pursued post-graduation courses in hospital administration from Rutgers University, Harvard University, and National University of Singapore. As a policy influencer and reformist, actively engaged with governments and industry bodies on aspects of public health and policy development. Dr. Sangeeta Reddy, we would like to hear your views on how to promote further the initiatives undertaken by government as well on medical value travel to India from countries around the world. Dr. Sangeeta.
Good evening and namaste, honorable ministers, dignitaries on the dais and in the audience. It's a great pleasure to be with all of you. I must confess that I feel a deep association because our group, the Apollo Hospitals group, was started by a doctor from the United States, an Indian doctor who had practiced in Mass General and came back home to India because his father told him it would be wonderful if you could serve our country. And furthermore, our hospital, he didn't have a lot of money. He collected money in multiples of $5,000 from many, many NRIs like all of you to build that capital. So Apollo is truly an NRI hospital. Thank you all very much for your support. And over the years, many of you have come back. You have lectured many, many doctors. It was said that Apollo was among the early ones to create reversal of brain drain, because many doctors from abroad came back to India to work in India, and many of them now are doing visiting. I just want to also very quickly and at the upfront acknowledge the tremendous role of the Indian doctors from API, from GAPIO, from BAPIO, throughout the many years, but especially during the pandemic. We connected with all of you every 15 days. You gave us the latest protocols. You continue to work with us. You raised money. I think almost $3.9 billion was given to the government to use for various schemes. So it's been a tremendous meeting of hearts. I congratulate you for your love of the motherland. I'm especially happy to be sitting here today because we have our Honorable Minister who's done some tremendous things in transforming healthcare. All of us in healthcare are impatient for the single dream of universal access to quality healthcare. Let me tell you that our Prime Minister and our Health Minister are equally impatient for the same dream. And so many steps have happened. I've been asked by the moderator to specifically mention what we can do on medical value travel. When Dr. Reddy came back 40 years ago and started Apollo, in these 40 years, we've created over 12,000 beds, 500 clinics, 5,000 pharmacies, 3 schools of medicine, 16 nursing schools, the country's first Masters in Hospital Administration, and one of the largest online medical education. But trust me, this is nothing compared to the need of the country and the power of what we can do together. There are 3 broad dreams which I think the Honorable Prime Minister and the Health Minister has given us. Number 1 is medical value travel, which is Heal in India. So towards this, I believe that the NRI doctors abroad play a major role in highlighting the capability of Indian care, the cost effectiveness of care, and our Indian missions to spread this message. So this is my first request. The 2 other very important things. After Heal in India, there is Heal by India. The global healthcare workforce shortage is over 17 million. As was appropriately mentioned, the harmonization of degrees, the enhanced training, the new medical colleges, as the Health Minister announced, a move towards enhancing our nursing. All this will not only help the global scenario of healthcare by bringing in healthcare workers, but also create employment for Indian youth. So I seek your support, cooperation, collaboration. I believe that every year India can send a minimum of 2 million qualified trained people to serve across the world. And this will truly transform not only what is happening in healthcare in homes, in hospitals, but also continue on the path of the tremendous respect that Indian doctors and nurses have created for us globally. Because of your contribution, many times we walk into every forum and we receive that respect. This medium can continue multifold. After Heal in India and Heal by India, the third important area is Heal from India. In today's environment of connected care, you heard about eSanjeevani, which is our telemedicine platform. You know about India's tele-density, India's network, India's tech stack, India's health tech stack. The day is not far when you will see ICU patients in any part of the world being monitored by nurses and doctors in India. You will see a care continuum of non-communicable disease and condition management happening from India. This KPO, or knowledge process outsourcing, will be one more significant step towards taking India into the global healthcare scenario. So these are 3 important initiatives. I will conclude, because of lack of time, with one final thought process. And that is that the medicine and the knowledge that we know today is transforming at a tremendous pace. Whether it's artificial intelligence, which is changing the way people access care or deliver care, or it's alternate medicine, which is creating a new holistic environment. It is the entire aspect of robotic surgery, of stem cell therapy, of genomics. All these combined together are going to create new treatment modalities. The biggest opportunity in front of all of us together is to combine the knowledge we have, the databases we have, the science which is emerging, to create the new validated integrated health. For many years, doctors in India sought what was happening in the West. We worked to accelerate or telescope those developments and bring it to India cost effectively. In the next 2 decades, may we please see that together we create this new form of medicine and we give it to the world. That is our dream and our passion. And this new form of medicine will focus on prevention, will be more holistic, will definitely use high technology of robotics and replacement. The joint replacements we do, the organ replacements we do, in 10 years these will be happening very, very differently. Whether it's 3D printing or stem cell or a combination of these technologies. So please can we partner on a continuing basis on the research of the medicine of the future. And I request the Honorable Minister to help us create this joint platform so we can evolve and bring these cures in our lifetime. They're going to happen. Let it not happen in our children and grandchildren's time, but in our lifetime, so that we hold that pride that we did this for India. I thank you all for this opportunity. I'm extremely excited about what we can do together, and I request you to reach out to me, the ministry, to anyone, and say, let us continue this participation and collaboration, because this is so much to be done. So many more lives to be touched, so much that we can contribute. Each one of us are trying to do it individually. We can become a force multiplier if we do it together. Thank you all very much, and namaste.
Thank you, Dr. Sangeeta Reddy, for your very insightful views and the idea of Heal in India, Heal by India, and Heal from India. I think that's a great thought. Now I would like to introduce our last panelist, Dr. Ravi Kohli. He's based in US. He's the current president of American Association of Physicians of Indian Origin. As Dr. Sampath said, this association has 100,000 physicians in its membership. Dr. Kohli is a board-certified psychiatrist with various specializations. He has 3 decades of experience in healthcare field. Dr. Kohli graduated from Rangaraya Medical College, NTR, University of Health Sciences, in 1981. He is currently affiliated with medical facilities at the Washington Health Systems in Greene and Washington counties in Pennsylvania. Dr. Kohli, and at the moment there are over 3,500 health tech startups in India, spanning from platforms helping to monitor health conditions, apps using AI to detect illnesses and diseases, stem cell research, and much more. Now, those startups, in the year 2021 alone, they receive about $2.2 billion. So the interest in this sector is, of course, quite huge. Now, we would like to hear from you how our diaspora can help in attracting more investments in health tech startups. Dr. Kohli.
Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Ravi Kohli, President of AAPI. In the interest of time, I'll refrain from any personal anecdotal comments and also try to follow the guidelines set for us. And I want to thank Health Minister Dr. Manshuk Mandavia ji and Rajkumar Ranjan Singh ji for organizing this event. Thank you very much. And my first thought about it is all problems are local, and the problems and the solution should be local. We just cannot follow the Western technologies and Western methodologies and Western resources for our local problems. So we need to identify what problems we are facing in our society with our resources and what we can do to use these healthcare and technology to solve those problems. Just copying the West will not solve our problems. Actually, West itself is being burdened by its own technology and cost escalations and the lack of proper care at the proper time in the proper place. So we should have our own vision to follow rather than just copying the modes that are not actually working. As you all know, the cost effectiveness of Western care is not there. So we have a vast population in this country and our problems are different. For example, doctor-patient ratio and resources, infrastructures, even the pharmacy access, the pharmacy refills, all these problems are local. So our focus should be on those problems and our solution should be based on those problems. So if we educate our startup systems to focus on these problems rather than cater to the Western problems, that will be a good step. And that actually might increase the investment from the West because we're not competing with them. We're trying to solve our own problems at our own backyard. That's one thing I'm thinking of. Second thing, as you mentioned, healthcare and information technology are the two greatest forces in India. And if these two forces combine, and it can solve a lot of problems. And we have the capability, we have the brain power and the manpower in these two fields to do it. So we need a vision, we need guidance, we need regulatory system that facilitate this kind of forward thinking and problem solving attitude. So like you mentioned, this sector is booming. In spite of general economic status has been stagnant or regressing, this sector is growing. And it has grown by leaps and bounds even within the past year. And it is continuing to accelerate the growth of our economy going forward as well. So this is a very important area of our economy. All our leaders and policymakers and legislators have to pay extra attention to kind of solve the problems and make care more accessible, the quality more accessible, more equitable, and also, if you're going to cater to the Western systems, we have to be careful about their privacy laws, their confidentiality laws, and those things. I think the best application of our healthcare technology would be patient education, the last mile problems that we have regarding delivery of medication at the right time. For example, many people die in this country of snake bite, and we can solve that by having some system in place that can help snake bite victims to be saved. And those are the kind of solutions we have to look for rather than just following some failed strategies from the West. So that's one thing. I think we have some amazing people both in charge of healthcare as well as technology in this country. I think if they all are brought together under some visionary leadership, I feel we have won the battle halfway. So the future of the healthcare in India appears to be promising due to these committed investors and driven founders. And like you said, digitization has been going on very fast and rapidly. And we have the advantage of leapfrogging the legacy technologies. We don't have to kind of dismantle existing technologies, but just create our own new technologies. Just like cell phone adaptation has been extremely kind of promising in this country. Even a taxi driver or even a vendor on the street uses cell phones. And that kind of adaptation is much more kind of useful in this context. So we don't have to dismantle anything. We can just build from the scratch using these technologies to solve a lot of local problems. So I think if we focus on those terms, the venture capitalists and the forward-thinking Western investors will also come into our system, rather than trying to compete with them or imitate them or just go after their market. That's my take. In view of the time, I just limited my comment to your question only. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ravi. It was very useful, like the thought of local solutions for local problems, I think is a good takeaway from your remarks. In the interest of time, I think we will have to do away with the Q&A session because we have the next session also coming up immediately after this. Now, I would like to request Union Honorable Minister for Health and Family Welfare, Chemicals and Fertilizers, Dr. Mansukh Mandaviya ji, for his closing remarks of this session. Sir.
Thank you to all panelists. You have given to important suggestion and your thought. But in a health sector, it's a global sector. But all country have for their self model. मैं मानता हूँ कि हेल्थ एक ऐसा सेक्टर है जिसमें अपना अपना मॉडल होता है. वेस्टर्न कंट्री हैव फॉर देम सेल्फ मॉडल. इंडिया हैव फॉर देयर सेल्फ मॉडल. हम सब लोगों ने ड्यूरिंग कोविड क्राइसिस इंडिया का भी मॉडल देखा, दुनिया का भी मॉडल देखा, डेवलप्ड कंट्री का भी कोविड मैनेजमेंट का मॉडल देखा, इंडिया का भी कोविड मैनेजमेंट का मॉडल देखा। और मैं लास्ट वर्ल्ड इकोनॉमिक फोरम में पार्टिसिपेंट करने के लिए गया था। एट दैट टाइम मेरी मीटिंग में सबसे पहले लोग इंडिया को कॉन्ग्रेचुलेट इसलिए कहते थे कि यू हैव डन टू बेस्ट कोविड मैनेजमेंट एंड बेस्ट वैक्सीनेशन ड्राइव। ये हमारा मॉडल है। इंटीग्रेटिव मेडिसिन, इट्स इंडियन मॉडल। मॉडर्न मेडिसिन, ट्रेडिशनल मेडिसिन। ड्यूरिंग कोविड क्राइसिस हम सब लोगों ने देखा हमारी ट्रेडिशनल मेडिसिन की क्या ताकत है। इंडिया को मदद किया। जब ग्लोबली दुनिया सफर कर रही थी और दिस टाइम फूड सिक्योरिटी क्राइसिस में, इंडिया इज अ बिग कंट्री, ह्यूज डाइवर्सिटी, 1.3 बिलियन पॉपुलेशन, बट हम दुनिया के ऊपर भार रूप नहीं बने। हमने हम हमारी रिक्वायरमेंट भी पूरा कर लेते हैं। इंडिया का ये भी एक मॉडल है कि जब रिक्वायरमेंट होती है तो हमारी स्ट्रेंथ, हमारी क्षमता हम दिखाते हैं। यही इंडिया था, इंडिया है जो सालों तक वैक्सीन का रिसर्च दुनिया में होता था। रिसर्च होने के बाद दुनिया वैक्सीन लगाती थी और बाद में इंडिया तक वैक्सीन पहुंचता था। इंडिया हैव ए ब्रेन पावर एंड मैन पावर। आप भी इंडिया की एक ताकत हो। आपके ब्रेन पावर के आधार पर आप दुनिया में जाके अपना बिजनेस कर रहे हैं या तो इंडिया के एम्बेसडर के रूप में काम कर रहे हैं। मैं ऐसा ही मानता हूं। दोस्तों, इंडिया की ताकत है जब समय आते हैं और उसकी रिक्वायरमेंट होती है तो इंडिया अपने क्षमता के आधार पर अपनी आवश्यकताओं को पूरा भी कर सकता है। जब कोविड क्राइसिस स्टार्ट हुई तब जब दुनिया के साथ मेरी बातचीत होती थी तो दुनिया ये आकलन करती थी कि इंडिया में कितने केस होंगे, इंडिया में कितने डेथ होंगे, उसके आधार पर दुनिया का फिगर तय होगा। यही इंडिया ने वैक्सीन का रिसर्च भी किया, वैक्सीन का मैन्युफैक्चरिंग भी किया। 5-10 साल के बाद कोई वैक्सीन इंडिया में आता था, न्यू वैक्सीन, जब 2020 दिसंबर 2020 का फर्स्ट डोज दुनिया में कोविड वैक्सीन का एडमिनिस्टर हुआ था। उसके बाद केवल 1 महीने के बाद 19 जनवरी 2021 में इंडियन रिसर्च, इंडियन मैन्युफैक्चरिंग वैक्सीन इंडिया में लगना चालू हुआ और आज 2.2 बिलियन डोज इंडिया ने एडमिनिस्टर करके दुनिया ने थर्ड सर्ज देखा, थर्ड वेव देखा। इंडिया ने थर्ड वेव नहीं देखा, केवल थर्ड ओमिक्रॉन का सर्ज देखा। वी मैनेज कोविड वेरी वेल। ये इंडिया का मॉडल है दोस्तों। इंडिया में जब हम दुनिया में है तब मेरी अपेक्षा है दोस्तों आपसे, आप इंडिया में जो कुछ बेस्ट है, योग इंडिया ने दुनिया को दिया है, लेकिन योग योगा होके आया और बाद में हम लोग योगा करने लगे, अलग बात है। वैसे कई हमारी सॉफ्ट ताकत है आज हिल इंडिया और हिल इन इंडिया एंड हिल बाय इंडिया की बात संगीता जी यहां कर रही थी। दोस्तों, ड्यूरिंग कोविड क्राइसिस हमारा मॉडल दुनिया में जो भी बेस्ट है हमें सीखना चाहिए। दुनिया में जो भी बेस्ट है उसको समझना चाहिए। इट्स वन थिंग, बट वी मस्ट बी अप्लाइड टू आवर ओवन मॉडल, बिकॉज we are returned to front of our home that हम हमारे घर के द्वार पे लिखते हैं लाभ शुभ। हमारी सिविलाइजेशन, हमारा कल्चर केवल लाभ की बात करने वाला कल्चर नहीं है। हमारा कल्चर, हमारा एथोज, हमें लाभ के साथ, लाभ मीन्स मेरा कल्याण हो, मेरा स्वयं का अच्छा हो, मेरी रिक्वायरमेंट पूरी हो, मेरी लाइफ अच्छी हो। इंडियन एथोज का यह मॉडल नहीं है। हम हमारे घर के द्वार लिखते हैं लाभ, उसके साथ शुभ भी लिखते हैं। मेरा भला हो, मेरा बेस्ट होना चाहिए, इट्स गुड, इट्स ओके, बट दुनिया का भी, सामने वाला का भी कल्याण होना चाहिए। इंडियन मॉडल है दोस्तों। और उसका दो बेस्ट एग्जाम्पल हमने दुनिया के सामने प्रस्थापित किया है। आप दुनिया के सामने बात भी कर सकते हो। जब ड्यूरिंग कोविड क्राइसिस दुनिया में लॉकडाउन चल रहा था, इंडिया में भी लॉकडाउन चल रहा था। दुनिया में लॉकडाउन के खिलाफ एजिटेशन चल रहा था। लोग रोड पे निकले थे, लॉकडाउन हटाइए। इंडिया जैसे बिग कंट्री, यहां हर दिन का कमाई के खाने वाले लोग भी हैं। महीने की कमाई करके महीने की सैलरी पर अपना जीवन गुजार करने वाले लोग भी हैं। और यहाँ एक अपर क्लास और अपर मिडिल क्लास भी है। और ह्यूज डाइवर्सिटी है इन पॉपुलेशन, इन सोसाइटी। बट आप लोगों ने दुनिया में देखा होगा, इंडिया में एजिटेशन नहीं हुआ। गवर्नमेंट के बिहाफ ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर हैव टेकन टू नंबर ऑफ इनिशिएटिव एंड कई टाइप के इनिशिएटिव प्रधानमंत्री जी ने लिया। लेकिन उसके साथ साथ सोसाइटी ने भी अपना इनिशिएटिव लिया। कॉर्पोरेट सेक्टर अपनी ओर से लगे, एनजीओज अपने ओर से लगी। इतना ही नहीं, लेकिन हर व्यक्ति ने अपने पड़ोस में रहने वाले, कोई भूखे तो नहीं सोते हैं ना, उसका भी ख्याल रखा। और हम कोविड क्राइसिस के सामने, लॉकडाउन के सामने बेस्ट तरीके से लड़ पाए और हम सफल रहे दोस्तों। ये हमारा हेल्थ का एक और भी मॉडल है। हेल्थ सेक्टर में हमारा सेकंड मॉडल, इंपॉर्टेंट मॉडल इज इट दैट in a health sector, in a medicine, it's not commerce to a country. हमारे लिए हेल्थ केयर कॉमर्स नहीं है, हमारे लिए हेल्थ केयर सर्विस है, सेवा है। ये इंडिया का मॉडल है। हेल्थ को हम सेवा के रूप में देखते हैं और उसका नतीजा ये है कि आज आप देखिए, कोई भी डिस्ट्रिक्ट में चले जाए, कई हॉस्पिटल चलती होगी, चैरिटी हॉस्पिटल। कई डॉक्टर सर्विस देते होंगे, उसका मानधन अपना गुजारा चल जाए। एमएस, एमडी, सुपर स्पेशलिस्ट डॉक्टर केवल 200-300 रुपीस की फीस लेके सर्विस देते होंगे। उन्होंने माना है कि हेल्थ हमारे लिए कॉमर्स नहीं है, हेल्थ हमारे लिए सर्विस है, सेवा है। कोई टाउन ऐसा नहीं होगा वहां कोई न कोई चैरिटी से चलने वाली हॉस्पिटल, छोटी हॉस्पिटल, बड़ी हॉस्पिटल ना हो। और इसलिए मेरे सामने एक थोड़े दिन पहले एक बहुत बड़ी कंपनी के सीईओ मिलने आए थे। वो मुझे बात कर रहे थे कि एक्स कंट्री का जीडीपी के 5% हेल्थ के पीछे खर्च होता है, वाई कंट्री का 4% होता है, जेड कंट्री का इतना % होता है। और लास्ट में उन्होंने कहा कि इंडिया का हेल्थ सेक्टर में जीडीपी का के सापेक्ष में बजट 2% है, उसको बढ़ाना चाहिए। तो मैंने कहा कि वी आर टेकिंग टू नंबर ऑफ टाइप ऑफ इनिशिएटिव इन ग्रो ऑफ हेल्थ सेक्टर बजट। मैंने उसको सारा इंडिया में जो एफर्ट हो रहा है वो बताया, और कैसे हम होलिस्टिक हेल्थ केयर पर आगे बढ़ रहे हैं, कैसे हम अफोर्डेबल और एक्सेसिबल हेल्थ केयर के लिए हमारी गवर्नमेंट आगे बढ़ रही। ये सारा विषय को रखने के बाद मैंने एक सिंपल क्वेश्चंस पूछा था उसको। मैंने कहा कि जिस कंट्री की आपने बात कही, ये कंट्री में एक टीथ का ऑपरेशन करके टीथ निकालना है। कोई एजेड व्यक्ति हुआ 70-80 ईयर्स हो गए और उसका स्वाभाविक तौर पर टीथ थोड़ा नबला हो जाता है, उसको निकालना है, तो एक टीथ निकालना कितना खर्च आएगा? तो उन्होंने कहा कि पहले अपॉइंटमेंट लेनी होती है, बाद में अपॉइंटमेंट के बाद अपॉइंटमेंट होती है, मिनिमम $2000 का खर्च होता है। तो मैंने उसको आहिस्ता से कहा कि हमारे यहाँ 500 रुपीज़ में बहुत अच्छी तरह से हमारे डॉक्टर साहब उसका टीथ का ऑपरेशन कर देते हैं, निकाल देते हैं। अभी आप मल्टीप्लाई करो 500 रुपीज़ टू मल्टीप्लाई इन डॉलर एंड $2000 टू मल्टीप्लाई इन GDP, वो हो जाएगा 21%। ये हमारा मॉडल है भाई। हेल्थ सेक्टर में भारत सरकार की ओर से जब द ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने हेल्थ सेक्टर को होलिस्टिक रूप में लेने से की शुरुआत की और हेल्थ को डेवलपमेंट के साथ जोड़ दिया। कोई देश को समृद्ध होना है तो शुरुआत होनी चाहिए कि उसके देश के नागरिक स्वस्थ हो। स्वस्थ नागरिक स्वस्थ समाज का निर्माण करता है और हेल्दी सोसाइटी वेल्दी कंट्री बना सकती है। कंट्री को समृद्ध होना है तो देश के का स्वास्थ्य अच्छा होना चाहिए। आप लोगों ने ड्यूरिंग ओबामा गवर्नमेंट के दरमियान ओबामा जी ने एक हेल्थ केयर स्कीम लॉन्च की थी और 10 करोड़ लोगों को हेल्थ सिक्योरिटी दी थी। सारी दुनिया में ओबामा केयर करके ये स्कीम पॉपुलर हुई थी। दोस्तों, आपकी कंट्री ने 10 करोड़ फैमिलीज यानी कि 50 करोड़ पुअर पीपल्स के लिए आयुष्मान भारत योजना का इंप्लीमेंटेशन किया। ऑल पुअर फैमिली हैव 5 lakhs हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, ऑल टाइप ऑफ डिसीज, ऑल टाइप ऑफ ऑपरेशन। और आज देश में 9,000 एबव एफोर्डेबल और क्वालिटी मेडिसिन के लिए ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर जी ने देश में आयुष जन औषधि केंद्र का निर्माण किया है, जो एकदम एफोर्डेबल और क्वालिटी रेट में आप जनरली you go to any pharmacy and buy the branded medicine. In a cancer medicine, you go to branded at 5,000 rupees, but you go to Jan Aushadhi Kendra, you buy only 1,000 rupees. 5,000 rupees to 1,000 rupees. गरीब लोगों तक एफोर्डेबल मेडिसिन कैसे मिले? गरीब लोगों तक हेल्थ सिक्योरिटी कैसे मिले? कोई गरीब के यहां बिना दवाई का खर्च करने से उसके यहां मृत्यु की नौबत नहीं आनी चाहिए, हमने एश्योर कर दिया है। दोस्तों, हम लोग दुनिया में जाके गौरव ले सकते हैं। आज दुनिया में एफोर्डेबल मेडिसिन कौन प्रोवाइड करता है? हम ही दुनिया में जेनरिक मेडिसिन प्रोवाइड करते हैं। आज सारी दुनिया 5 पिल लेती है तो एक इंडिया में बनी हुई जेनरिक मेडिसिन, जेनरिक टैबलेट है, ये हम ही दुनिया को प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं। हमारे लिए प्राउड है। हम क्राइसिस की स्थिति में, मुझे पता है इस समय में मैं एक काम के साथ लगा हुआ था, दुनिया के पास मेडिसिन नहीं थी, लॉकडाउन था। कई कंट्री ने मुझे कहा, प्राइम मिनिस्टर साहब को कॉल किया कि हमारे यहाँ 15 डेज से एक्स मेडिसिन नहीं है, हाइड्रोक्सीक्लोरोक्विन नहीं है, एजिथ्रोमाइसिन नहीं है। एक कंट्री के हेल्थ मिनिस्टर का मुझे कॉल आया था, तो मुझे कहा था कि हम आपको वेंटिलेटर भेजेंगे, प्लीज़ आप हमें एजिथ्रोमाइसिन और हाइड्रोक्सीक्लोरोक्विन दीजिए। तब मैंने कहा था कि हमें वेंटिलेटर की आवश्यकता है, आपके पास है तो अवश्य भेजिए, लेकिन इन्हें हेल्थ सेक्टर हमारे लिए सेवा है, आप प्लेन भेजिए, हम आपको मेडिसिन अवश्य भेजेंगे, उसके लिए कोई शर्त नहीं है, हम दुनिया के साथ खड़े हैं। और 150 कंट्री में इंडिया ने मेडिसिन सप्लाई की। और उसमें मैं 2 चीज ऐड करना चाहता हूं। दुनिया को मेडिसिन सप्लाई की, लेकिन उस वक्त क्राइसिस थी, उसका फायदा इंडिया ने नहीं उठाया। कोई कंट्री से कंप्लेन नहीं आई कि क्राइसिस की स्थिति में इंडिया ने प्राइस हाइक कर दिया, जी नहीं। कोई कंट्री की ओर से ऐसी शिकायत नहीं आई कि आपने पुअर क्वालिटी की मेडिसिन सप्लाई कर दिया, जी नहीं। हमने ऐसा नहीं किया, क्वालिटी मेडिसिन सप्लाई की और वही प्राइस में जो पहले के प्राइस में बिकती थी। दोस्तों, ये इंडिया का मॉडल है। हम सब लोग इंडिया के डायस्पोरा के रूप में, आप इंडिया के प्रतिनिधि हैं। हमारे एम्बेसडर तो वहां जाके एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव गवर्नमेंट काम देखते होंगे, लेकिन आप जिस कंट्री में है वहां के लोगों के साथ जुड़े हुए हैं, बिजनेस से जुड़े हुए हैं, नेबर किसी के नेबर के रूप में आप जुड़े हुए होंगे, किसी के साथ आपका रिश्ता बना होगा, जिस इंस्टीट्यूट में आप काम करते होंगे, जिस सेक्टर में आप बिजनेस करते होंगे, वहां के कई आपके कलीग होते होंगे। दोस्तों, इंडिया का सही मॉडल हमें उसके सामने रखना चाहिए और वहां से जो बेस्ट है वो इंडिया तक कैसे पहुंचे उसकी भी बात अवश्य होनी चाहिए। ग्लोबलाइजेशन के ज़माने में हम संकुचित नहीं हो सकते हैं। दुनिया के साथ रिश्ता साझा करना, दुनिया के साथ कदम से कदम मिलाना, एक दूसरे की रिक्वायरमेंट को पूरा करना, ये उद्देश्य के साथ मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में हमारी सरकार काम कर रही है। आप सब लोग प्रवासी भारतीय दिन पर इंडिया में आए, इंडिया की ओर से आपका अभिवादन करता हूं। धन्यवाद।
Thank you so much, sir. I think that comes towards the conclusion of it. In fact, I'd like to assure that the interventions, recommendations, and remarks made during this session have been carefully noted, sir, and will be shared with the relevant ministry, in this case, your ministry particularly, sir. I would like to thank all the panelists, especially Foreign Minister of Panama, Her Excellency Ms. Janaina Tiwanamenkoma, Madam, for your participation in this panel. Also all the other panelists, Dr. Sangeeta Reddy, she had to catch a flight, so she just left a while ago. Dr. Karimuddin Saab, Datuk, Dr. Kuljit Singh, Dr. Ravi Kohli, Dr. Sampath Sivangi Saab, for your very valuable interventions, remarks. I would also like to place on record our deepest gratitude to Honorable Union Minister of Health and Family Welfare, Chemicals and Fertilizers, Dr. Mansukh Mandaviya, for chairing this session, sir, and the Honorable Union Minister of State for External Affairs and Education, Dr. Rajkumar Ranjan Singh ji, for co-chairing the session, sir. And your remarks and interventions have been very insightful, and I'm sure everyone present here have been enlightened by those remarks, sir. That comes to the conclusion of this plenary session. Thank you all, and Jai Hind. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, Shri Mansukh Mandaviya ji, and thank you so much, Honorable Minister of State for External Affairs, Dr. Rajkumar Ranjan Singh ji, and